Hey, good morning to you and happy Monday. Nice start to a brand new week, more opportunities to do things and do things better than we did yesterday and last week. Hope you had yourself a great weekend. Yesterday I got to go with a buddy, went for about a 120-mile motorcycle ride. Left, got on the bike here and actually found out one of the parts on my, it's a backrest, basically if I have a passenger where they rest, I realized the padding was gone. I'm going, so I don't know if it actually fell off and I wasn't paying attention when I rode it 2 weeks ago, or if someone came up and stole it. So we get some of the homeless people sometimes in the neighborhood, so I don't know. So that was missing, but geared up, went down and topped off the tank and was getting a little warm and met back with my buddy and said, we're both kind of warm, but let's take a stop off. We went about 10 miles and pulled over, and we're both at the line right there where it's like, it's almost like we're too warm, but we adjust our layers. We might be too cold. So we kind of left it where it was and started going down the roads a little ways. And after a while, I was like, I'm comfortable. So it actually worked out perfectly good. So the layers we had on, and he's got a big windshield on his Harley. I got on my Honda. I got a nice fairing on there, so protection from the wind, but worked out pretty good. Temperature worked out great, beautiful. So the weather was just great and beautiful where we were at, just going through. I mean, you got the cows going through the fields, the scenery, everything's green right now. Was it called lupus? Purple little flowers all over the place. One of the hills, I think they got daffodils or something coming up. There's a nice little yellow up there, but just beautiful, nice little ride coming through, and just real nice. It was perfect out, good. So, hey, this is David here with you, where we talk about what I call balancing the triad, body, mind, spirit. You work on those three elements because they're completely intertwined, and thus you improve your health, wellness, and fitness. And the main thing I emphasize here, or one of the main things I emphasize, is making sure we do it your way. What works for you, what fits into your life. So last couple of videos I talked about had to do with being active. Being active, doing an exercise routine that works for you, or a training routine, more specifically. So let's kind of talk about food right now. So are you at least attempting to eat healthy? And that's one of the easiest places to start. Now, I don't want to follow a diet. It's interesting, the first three words spelled die. Not to mention, it's interesting, one of my training when I went through Institute of Transformational Nutrition, one of the handouts we got, it covers 150 different diets, pros and cons. And yes, every single one basically has a con to them. And one of the aspects, from what I remember, it's been a little while since I've gone through it, but a lot of times they're just too strict. People have to try following this way here, and it makes it very difficult to do for long term. And that's one of the main things to look at is if you do a diet, it mainly should be short term, which is interesting because if we talk about an elephant's diet, a horse's diet, any type of animal, a diet is just what they eat. But for humans, we say diet, it means we're going something short term, normally to lose weight. But regardless, let's do something that you can do long term. And even if you choose to do a diet, whatever works for you, and sometimes it's not as easy to do long term, but part of a podcast I listened to over the weekend, and one of their ideas was if you take your diet and say you do it for about a month, and then maybe you ease off of it. I don't mean completely go off of it, but you might ease off it so it works a little better for you, and maybe the following month you go back onto there, and you can go back and forth that way. And that way it might, and from what I was listening to the podcast, it seems to work pretty good for a lot of people. So you're real strict or so for about a month, and then you kind of slack off a little bit. And I don't mean going back to eating the way you did before, complete garbage. But what you're doing is just easing off on the restrictions a little bit. And that seems to work out for a lot of people. But regardless, let's go through and just simple things. It's something I've talked about in here quite a bit, but very simple ideas. Are you at least making an attempt to eat healthy? So as you probably see I'm going to put up for the thumbnail for the video, you got a cupcake, you got an apple. Are you at least making an attempt between those two? And a lot of times a simple place to start is just start somewhere and start slowly cutting out calories here, cutting out calories there. So if you have the choice between the cupcake and the apple's better for you. The apple still has sugar in it, and your body's going to react the same no matter what form of sugar. However, the apple also has the vitamins and minerals in there. That's where sometimes the difference comes in. You have a choice. You figure out a candy bar and a bunch of little sweet treats, the snack food that we have, versus a salad. Salad with whatever you want to toppings, be wary with the dressing, but whatever toppings you put in there, you can have the same amount of calories between this big candy bar stuff over here and the salad. But yet the salad, you're going to get more nutrients out of it. Water. Most of our body is made up of water. It works in how our body processes in cells. It's so many different chemical elements take place within our body in that. We need to make sure to drink plenty of water. Now, if you drink high-intensity drink soft drinks, okay, maybe just cut out one soft drink a day and substitute with water. Or if you drink a full can, if you can find the small ones, you start there and maybe just have that small can to start you off with. Watch your portion sizes. If you realize you're always just going through and piling on your plate, pay attention. Say, okay, this is what I normally do. Well, let me just cut off a little bit here. Maybe come a quarter of the portion of this. So maybe if I have a bunch of the regular potatoes, sweet potatoes are a little better for you, but if you have regular potatoes, okay, let's just do a little less there, maybe a little more vegetables. You start making at least simple changes like that, simple adjustments, stuff that you actually know about. You know the sweet treats, you know the high sugar foods, you know the high calorie foods. Those are stuff we know about. You know, fruits and vegetables are going to be better for you. Water's going to be better for you. So there's a way to go through it. But that's the least what I want to talk about here is, are you at least make an attempt? And that's the way you can make an attempt. Just slow little tidbits here and there. And that's a place to start. Then from there, if you choose to, you can start doing a little more. But at least just start. Be conscious of what you're eating, your food choices, your portion sizes, what you go through, and start making just little bits here and there. All right? Do that there, and it will make an easy transition. Not to mention, just by doing that every day and throughout the week, you're going to start having a calorie deficit, which means you're going to start to shrink down a little bit. Add some movement on top of that, gets even more. Simple ways to do it. So that's what I got for you today. Just start paying attention to the simple stuff, the stuff that you know really isn't good for you, and that's not best for your body, and substitute something a little better, or start cutting some of that bad stuff out. And a lot of times they say sometimes you also make better bad choices. How's that? All right. So that's what I got for you today. Let me know your thoughts on that. And if you want some help to get you going on that, in the description, there is a link to my Facebook group. And within there, I got a free training, Health and Wellness Your Way, to figure out what's going to help, what's going to work for you and fit into your life, and give you step-by-step things to ponder and think about and start going through that. So, all right. So have a wonderful start to your week, and we will catch you tomorrow. So take care and balance into you. Bye-bye.